Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a delayed Beyond the Summit presentation of Vici Gaming versus Newbee.Y here. Unfortunately, we did have some delays on my behalf, and I do apologize sincerely for that. I can't be sorry enough, but we'll just kind of jump into it real quick, guys. Obviously, we're about 10 minutes into game number 1 here of this 2-game series between Vici and Newbee.Y. This is iLeague's Chinese qualifiers, so we're going to see a lot of action from these teams and throughout these group stage matches throughout the next couple of weeks. But starting now, and this is day 2, and actually we have some simultaneous matches going on, so we might be a little slim for the Chinese coverage today. But again, once again, apologies. I myself am Blaze. You can flame me over on twitter.com/blazecasting. And otherwise, I'm bringing in an illustrious co-caster for today and hopefully for the rest of the week. This is FlyingZebra Dota. How's it going, man? What do you think about this game so far?
It is full of action. There's more kills than minutes. Very rare in recent times.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, China has kind of been upping the ante as far as aggressive tactics. They've been doing a lot of aggro tries and other reliable things. Another thing that I noticed that kind of fuels it is having a bounty hunter on the team. Like, I guess it's a support bounty hunter. His KDA is 3.22. His last hits is 3-0. So I would have to say, yeah, he ran support, got the Earned Shadows, and he's just trying to build up the income for the team.
Yeah, that and the Nature's Prophet pick as well. It's not picked much lately, but when it is, it's usually very aggressively like this.
Nice dive coming bottom. They're actually going to be able to turn around with a Ravage here, but it's only for the support bounty hunter. So a track kill comes out. They get the Slardar, which is going to definitely be a carry position. I mean, you look at his last hits, he's been trying to build up items, but it seems like Vici are struggling in that regard. Now they're going to try to turn it on to 4-5-6, the Spirit Breaker. That's their off-lane player. I love those strength initiators, but in this case, yeah, he's the one who's just been bringing in the pain. I mean, 7 kills on their side, 8 kills on the other side. Let's look at just KDAs right now as a brief reference point. We've got Super with 4-1-2. He's had a great game, whereas their Slaughter is 2-4-2. So it seems to have been kind of the focus target for most of these fights. But the Enigma's been building up pretty well. Just picked up his mechanism. Tide, looking for, I guess, a blink. He's carrying a Ring of Regen. Could that be anything?
I think he might be going for a Force Staff or something.
Okay.
Just to save people from Sprout.
Oh man, yeah, this action is awesome. We're gonna see Spirit Breaker go down. Quick raises, nice Requiem coming up, and it's canceled, actually. And I'm not sure why, to be honest with you.
I think that was a Shuriken.
Okay. Then we do see a nice double impale into the black hole. Beautiful combo coming in from FY. Fenrir, FY, the support duo. These guys just do amazing work, but that was incredible. So yeah, not going to be able to get the Requiem, but they still get plenty of kills. Now it's only Storm Spirit holding the bottom line, but you've got the Eidolon push coming through. Checking the stream, yeah, it looks like we're still going well. So right now, I mean, obviously you said it, Newbee.Y with their picks, they have a very aggressive stance. Spirit Breaker, Nature's Prophet, and Bounty Hunter can kind of jump anybody anywhere. But as far as that's really good for small skirmishes, but when it breaks out to like full 5-on-5, I feel they're a bit weak now that Vici have their ultimates online.
Yeah, Vici just found the right time and place to group up and force a fight. They're gonna have to back off and wait for the cooldown, so we'll see if Newbee abuses that. That's pretty much the strength of the lineup, is that they don't have any long cooldowns. So they're gonna have to take advantage of that and take objectives or force fights somewhere while the ultis are down.
So it looks like they're going to keep trying, but I like this Sentry Observer combo down in the bottom rune. If Gondar roams around that area, they're going to see him coming and either counter-gank him or just act accordingly so they don't have to be at risk. So they see him moving around the map right now, and that's really powerful. That kind of intel, they can bait him into a trap, they can try to go for the hex play, but he will fall back just in time. So all they get is an Observer Ward, and I think they block their own camp. Not that you're farming too much in this kind of a game, but it is at least worth noting.
Yeah, and they barely missed the other Observer Ward down below.
That one's going to be expiring in just a minute and a half, so pretty valuable intel, but obviously Bounty Hunter is that mobile ward that's scouting things out. Actually have a flank coming in down bottom. They're diving the tower. How? Really rough game for him. He's died so many times. Make it a 5th, and they will take the tower. I guess they just miscommunicated whether or not they wanted to defend that. Lion, though, turning it on the bounty hunter. He's still got magic stick and Urn of Shadows. He'll be fine. In fact, they're trying to turn it. There's going to be your long jump. All the spells cast out, and track gold for everyone. Piao will get a double. So really good gold infusion going for Newbee Youth here as they take the tower and get that track kill. But what will they follow that up with is the question. And I'm assuming they need a couple of big items, maybe some BKBs, and then they just, oh wow, comboed up the Yules, the Rays, and the death of the bounty hunter. So yeah, I mean, what do you think Newbee Youth is going to be able to like hit a critical item timing, start trying to push off of that, or are they going to kind of spread the map and play gank style all game long?
I feel like their plan from the start was to be really aggressive early lanes in the early laning stage, and then get their BKBs and start pushing with the Razor and the Nature's Prophet. They probably, once they have their BKBs and can take fights with that, that's probably when they start trying to take objectives.
So I mean,
I think they just play around these big cooldowns.
Yeah, I mean, the Razor is definitely working towards either BKB or Nags. The Storm Spirit, though, is going to go for a Bloodstone. You don't usually see the Bloodstone into BKB. It certainly is a tanky build, but most people like to get more mana on the field. So, I don't know. It's I think you're right. I think BKB is really important here, but Piao, he's going to be a long way from that. If he just now picked up the point booster for his Bloodstone, can you imagine a successful BKB timing? Oh, okay, 4, 5, 6, gonna get caught. Requiem will go through. He's gonna not be able to charge away. Gets hexed up, will go down. In the meantime, how defending top against duo, Storm was among them, but they're not looking to dive. They're looking to just spread the map. Nature Prophet TP's down bottom, keeping that Midas on cooldown and farming up a Storm.
Yeah, a lot's gonna be on the line and the Slardar to pick off this ratty play coming out from Newbee.Y. How's getting pretty close to a blink.
Oh, getting another Yules, but it is on the Razor. Still going to go for the Ravage here. No BKB yet, so they just combo him up. He gets knocked up in the air twice over Earth Spike as well, so yeah, that's going to be your Tier 2 tower. And honestly, this is the thing that I'm worried about for Newbee's Youth draft is, how do they deal with 5-man Dota at all? Like, if Ice has Ravage, they can confidently walk up to the high ground even without Aegis. Like, there's no AoE, there's no team fight power from Newbee Youth lineup. Unless, like, the Spirit Breaker suddenly picks up an Aghanim Scepter, they've got nothing as far as team fight control, and Vici have everything. So they'll spread the map, they'll try to play ganking, but unless you can isolate a target, you're in base race mode from the get-go.
Yeah, they're gonna have to rely on their split pushing to force them back, to force Vici back until they have their BKBs ready. So they farm as much as possible, use the bounty hunter to scout, and make sure they're not getting caught up by this 5-man.
Well, the Razor is that much closer to BKB, only going to be the recipe away, but we've finally got our blink up on Slardar, which I assume was the kind of the game plan, is get How online pretty early, but he obviously succumbed to a lot of pressure. So the one thing the Newbee Youth really has done right this game is get the Slardar a 17-minute blink dagger. I mean, that's a very bad timing for Vici. It's obviously showing Newbee's strength in the early laning phase, but it seems to be crumbling a little bit now. I mean, the team fights are just not working out the way they want to, and they're going to go with Blade Mail on Spirit Breaker. I actually like this. I think that, charging in, just popping that Blade Mail, they're going to send out a ton of return AoE abilities. Heck, if this Shadow Fiend doesn't go for a BKB, he might even think twice about using his Requiem.
Yeah, it's just something that forces Vici to play a little bit differently. It makes their team fights a little bit harder. It looks like Enigma's going for a BKB as well. He's about halfway there, a little over.
Yeah. At that point, only the Nether Strike really is going to be able to deal with the Black Hole. I mean, obviously there's a chance of Greater Bash to be involved, but it's very unlikely. So pretty much just seems like the Nether Strike has to be reserved for FY, and if he catches the Spirit Breaker in the Black Hole, it's guaranteed. So I actually think that will give them pretty much all that they need to go for full 5-man plays if they didn't have it already. But first they're looking for the blink play, and they have vision. They have vision on this high ground. Great ward, about to expire, but for now, they get the intel they need, and they're smoked so far deep that you just don't see this coming. 456, target of choice. He's got the blade mail, but he doesn't get a chance to use it yet. Already lost half his HP. There's your two-man black hole. Absolutely tearing Newbee with a new one, and amazing crest to follow. 3 down, 4 just running away. The bounty hunter barely survives through it, but oh man, just what a combo. When they have their ultimates online, Vici are unstoppable. They're taking the tier 2 tower. They might even just try to go for some damage on the tier 3. They don't have to. They certainly have the ability to slow roll this game, but that was a hell of a combo.
Yeah, they take their time, take their positioning just right to make sure they got all the chain stuns perfectly. And Newbee just wasn't ready for it.
So now we've got 5 points of Presence of the Dark Lord, the amp damage at level 2, Roshan down to negative 13 armor, and he'll fall quickly. Is there any reason to use Midnight Pulse there? I don't believe it works on Rosh.
Maybe just scare the bounty hunter or something. I don't know.
FY, he knows things. He's got tricks up his sleeve. We'll put faith in him. But yeah, I mean, gold is going to be going the way of Newbee, like in general. Like that's not comparative net worth, but just I'm saying that there is still income coming out for Newbee. They're using Hand of Midas. They're getting a couple of track kills, even if it's only once every couple of minutes. So the question is, what items can they try to look to pick up to deal with their desperate situation? Is it just mass BKB? Like,
yeah, they do need a lot of items. They can't just win with BKBs. They're still going to need the damage from other items as well. But for now, they feel like they need some items that just help them split push a little bit better until they're ready to fight in terms of levels.
Alright, we'll see. I mean, that Bloodstone could be both useful and utility offensive and defensive. There's obviously a lot of potential in that item, so we'll see that coming through from the Storm pretty soon. He's just got to get 100 gold plus the recipe. But back in the mid lane, we've got Ravage cooling down in 20 seconds, 1 minute on the Black Hole, and it looks like that's the catalyst for action here in the mid lane. Vici are kind of roaming, controlling the eastern Dire jungle, and then immediately after, they're just going to go for the push in. Very nice ward placement coming out from the Nature's Prophet, just teleported to the cliff to get that down, and then teleported back home, but they're not really going to be making use of that space very well. Maybe a courier snipe on a critical item pickup for Vici, but otherwise, really, they're going to be sitting on this quadrant of the map the entire time. So they're going to be defending their top tier 3 is pretty much what it comes down to, and trying to push the other lanes as quickly as they can.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with that one. I think it is looking for a courier to maybe try to slow down Vici in any way they can.
So, very difficult defense, man. Is there any way that Newbee Youth can do it? Is there a target that you have to prioritize in this situation, take them out, and I just try to hope that they don't get all the abilities off the way they need to?
I think you just kind of try to intimidate them as much as you can by like tracking everybody, and then you just keep killing the creep waves. Maybe Storm does some like zips from Fountain to kill the creeps as well. They just need to stall as much as possible and force Vici to commit deep into the base. If Vici can seize though, that plan's not going to work, so...
Very true. So Nature's Prophet doing some good damage to the tier 2. That will certainly fall, fortification or not, but their focus is what they can do to this tier 3 tower, and I think they go with the next creep wave. They force Nature's Prophet into a decision with this fortification to defend, finish off the tower, or just defend as one. And they get all the tracks out, but now the Blink Crush catching out the Bounty Hunter, a 3-man Ravage coming out. The finger brings down Gondar. He buys back, and there is a BKB, but Razor needs that BKB to fight, not to flee. Storm Spirit going in, getting a couple good hits, but now Yule's up, and there's going to be the Black Hole. No, the Crush going in first, and they'll just combo him up. No Black Hole needed, just your spikes. And now the tier 3 in jeopardy. The fortification comes through, but man, Vici Gaming have just swung back hard. Now Hal's healing up, so he can go for another Blink Crush play, and he still has the Aegis, so he could go as deep as the tier 4s. But we'll see the tier 3 take some hits here, and Hal, yeah, he's the one zoning him out with his ultimate now. Track, nah, I got the amp damage, and that turns people into flypaper. So we'll see. The melee racks go down very quickly. Newbee, their last stand has to come now.
Seems like they're just gonna let it go without the BKBs. If they just die here, Vici could probably just push another lane.
True. Yeah, I mean, that would just guarantee the loss rather than just having some one. I mean, it is just going to be the one Rex. Range Rex will survive. So they have to be afraid of FY's BKB Black Hole. That's just not something you can play around against too easily. Even, like you said, even after they get the BKBs, get some damage, like that's still a problem. They can progress as much as they want to, but that's going to be an issue all game that they have to play around, and it's hard. It really is difficult for Newbee Youth here. They tried to go for something that was a little bit of a gambit draft, say, okay, let's just screw How over, make sure that the Slider is weak and squishy, and if he ever sprints in the fight, he dies in like 3 seconds. But he's done all right for himself. I mean, he's been able to build himself back up. Going back to farming now, he'll have his BKB in 600 gold. Looks like he might even use his Aegis against the Ancients here. And yeah, he's going to be able to actually like commit to fights hard once that Black King bar is online. But he will go and retreat. We do see Bounty Hunter looking for maybe a quick snipe, but the Aegis is reclaimed and How gets full HP.
Yeah, there's a BKB on Super as well. I actually don't know how they're gonna die from this point when they have those up. Looks like they're just planning on going right down mid.
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, we've got the Ravage back up, and the Manta can always slow siege at the very least. So, in this position, as long as they're not by themselves, they can't be isolated by Charge and by Bounty Hunter, as well as an Easter Prophet TP. I mean, adding in the Storm Spirit Zip on top of that, it just seemed like this is all ganking isolators. They just want to find like a 2v1, a 3v1, or even a 4v1. They can do it at any point in time, but as long as Vici are together, they're stronger in the 5-on-5. So Bloodstone comes out, maybe losing charges very quickly if Piao doesn't pull out some big plays here. But actually going to be isolated is going to be the Nation Prophet. Oh, man, that is a critical loss here. 50 seconds is death, and they just catch him out there and get the Blink Crush. So now they're going to be looking into pushing mid, and the Ravage already onto 2. Razor pops the BKB on the defense again, but there's your Black Hole from FY, ×2 with the BKB. And they will just bring him down. Nice combo there. They're going to be able to finish off the Spirit Breaker. The Bloodstone, it will help to service Storm Spirit in a faster respawn, but only for him to be back alive to witness the fall of the Dire base. This is absolutely disastrous.
Yeah, Vici's just playing this pretty much perfectly. Newbee really wanted to create some chaos with this draft, and Vici just stayed collected, they stayed composed, and they just executed perfectly.
Well, that pretty much wraps it up here for Vici versus Newbee Youth. Again, sorry about the delays, guys, but since we are running on Dota TV, we are delayed by a couple minutes. It seems pretty clear that this is how it's going to end. They'll get a few more kills, they'll take the racks, they'll take the throne. We got to get in the next lobby, so please stay tuned. We're just going to jump out here and jump into the lobby for the live cast of game number 2. So there we go. And the throne explodes.